Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Eric, I am the audiophile, and this is the channel where we talk about records, gear, and everything else in between. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. Today I want to talk about record collecting resolutions. So stick around and watch. If you yourself are a vinyl collector, you might learn a thing or two about what I want to do differently over the next year, and some of these things might help you as well. So this video is a little bit different. In most cases, I usually talk about certain bands that I like or gear. Today, I want to talk about me as a record collector, what I do, what I like that I'm doing well, and things that I want to do different. So I've got a list here of 10 different things that are going to be my resolutions. I can't believe it's already fourth quarter here in 2025, and we are quickly approaching 2026, so it's time to start making some of these resolutions. Number one, I want to play every single record that is in my collection. I have over 600 records today. So really, I would need to do is basically spin 2 records a day for the next year to get through my entire collection. Not easy to do. I'm busy. I work full time. I have 2 kids. I feel like I'm running around constantly doing things and don't feel like I spend enough time listening to music, but really want to prioritize over the next 12 months being able to listen to hopefully every record inside of my collection. So how am I going to do that? I'm the kind of person that usually does a lot of deep dives. So most likely I'll listen to one band quite often. For instance, I've done deep dives with REM, where I'll listen to every REM record in my collection, or Pearl Jam. I actually do a lot of that when I'm ranking bands, just so I have fresh ears on those records if I'm going to make a video about some of these bands. Another way to do it, ask my wife. She always has an opinion. If we're upstairs listening to music, a lot of times she'll suggest bands that we listen to or records that we listen to. Lately, it always seems like the war on drugs is what she wants to hear. Another way to do it is by using Discogs. So I'm sure most of you, if you're like me, catalog your entire list of all of your albums inside of Discogs. A feature about that not everybody knows about, if you go to your collection in the app, if you're doing this on a mobile phone, shake your phone. When you shake your phone, it'll actually pull up an album at random, and a lot of times if I don't know what I want to listen to, that's what I'll go ahead and listen to. The other thing I'm going to do with this, mainly it's because I'm a computer guy, I'll probably track everything in a spreadsheet. I can be very, very goofy when it comes to spreadsheets. I have a million of them on my computer today, and I'll just track all of these to make sure that I'm listening to different records. Number 2 on my list for resolutions as a record collector this year is really prioritize quality over quantity. I'm to the point now in my collection where I feel there's not a ton of holes in my collection. I do have a list using Discogs again as a want list of certain records that I still want to add to my collection. But I really want to focus on quality. Quality pressings, quality moving into even things like more of the audiophile labels like Rhino Hi-Fi, Mobile Fidelity, UHQR, into some of those, especially for albums that I really, really like. When I first started collecting, one of the things I did was trying to build out my collection. I bought a lot of records that weren't in great condition, especially used records. If I saw something that I really wanted to have, really didn't even look at the condition of the record, rarely pulled it out of the sleeve. Now, when I'm shopping, I do not buy a used record without pulling it out of the sleeve, take a look at the condition of the vinyl before I purchase it. So prioritizing quality over quantity is one of the things I really, really want to do over the next year. Number 3, related to what we're doing here, make more videos. I really enjoy doing this. I'm not doing this to try to make money, just doing it as an outlet, trying to be a little more creative. As my kids have gotten older, I feel like I do all this dad stuff and don't do a whole lot of stuff for me. So creating videos is building some content and really becoming part of the vinyl community. I want to start commenting on other people's videos more often. So for those of you who follow me and I follow you, I apologize if I haven't made many comments on your YouTube videos. Part of the reason for that is most of the video watching I do of vinyl community stuff is in the evening at night. So right before I go to bed a lot of times, and I'll do it on my TV. So I don't have easy access to type in a comment because I'm not doing it on my mobile phone or I'm not doing it on my computer. It's on the TV across the room. Along with this, with creating more videos, really want to become more of a part of the vinyl community. getting more involved with tags, maybe with some collaborations with some other creators. I've sent a couple things out via Instagram about some ideas I have of a new series that would bring a couple people into my channel to start reviewing some albums going forward. So looking forward to trying to do that over the next 12 to 16 months. Number 4, sharing my collection. You know, what's the point of having all of these records if I'm just sitting here listening to them by myself? I mentioned earlier with my wife, a lot of times there are certain records she wants to hear. That's great. I actually have a really wonderful setup here, not only down here in the basement, but if you watched my my audio gear video, you'll know that upstairs I have a great setup up there, and it's a perfect place for entertaining. And really want to have more people over at the house just to listen to records, have people come down, grab a record or two, spin songs like we used to do back before we were streaming, before people were streaming everything. When you'd get together with friends, you'd listen to CDs and records, which I think we've really gotten away from, especially over the last few years post-COVID. I know in my area, it just doesn't seem like everybody gets together as much as they used to. And I'd really like to use music to bring people together locally. Along with this, possibly some online listening parties. Saw some great things back when I was active on Twitter, which I now avoid like the plague, where people say, hey, 8 o'clock tonight, Central Time, we're going to play this record. And everybody would stream it or play the record or their CD that they would have and make comments. Just kind of fun to see what other people do from a community aspect, the music that they enjoy and what it is they enjoy and why they enjoy it. Number 5 on my list is to fill the holes. So like I mentioned earlier, I feel like I don't have a ton of holes in my collection. As you've probably heard if you've watched any of my videos before, the reason I call myself the audiophile is because I'm cheap. I hate spending money on frivolous things. And, you know, part of it is I might have a CD of a band. Do I really need it on vinyl? Probably. But I hate spending big money, especially on out-of-print albums. So an example of this, of filling the holes, Uncle Tupelo, one of my favorite bands. Absolutely love them. I have one Uncle Tupelo record, and that is Anodyne. Reason being, No Depression, Still Feel Gone, March, whatever that is, album. They're all out of print. And if I want to buy a copy of those now, I'm going to probably have to spend close to $100 to do that. My rationale is, if I find a good deal, or if I find a great copy, or especially what I'm hoping for now is if it gets reissued and I can purchase a brand new copy, that's the route I would rather go than spending $100 on a record that, like I said, I don't play all my records all the time. Hate to spend that kind of money on a record that I'm just not going to listen to very often. Number 6, this is kind of a polar opposite of number 5, but that's discover new music. I think I'm pretty stuck in my ways. I think a lot of people my age are as well. You know, I'm classic rock, alternative rock. That's really what I listen to. But I still like listening to new music. You know, over the last few years, I've discovered a lot of bands that I probably wouldn't have had I not done a couple of things. Number 1, I still read a lot of music reviews. Back in the day, I used to subscribe to Spin and Rolling Stone and all of those magazines back in the 90s when I was really, really into music. Today, I follow a few critics and writers. One specifically I'd like to call out is Stephen Hayden. I think the guy's such a great writer, and I absolutely love his taste in music. And if he recommends something and says it's good, I find that I generally like it. So if Stephen Hayden says, hey, the new Wednesday album is great, I'm probably going to give it a stream, see if I like it, and then possibly add more of those to my collection. Wednesday, MJ Lenderman, Waxahachie. Those are some great examples that I probably never would have listened to if it wasn't for Stephen Hayden. Another way to do this, I still have a favorite radio station. So as I've mentioned a million times, I'm from Minnesota. In Minneapolis, there's a public radio station called The Current, 89.3 The Current. And they play a wide variety of music, but especially new music. And it's really, I think The Current's been around for about 20 years. I've listened to it nearly daily for the last probably at least 10 years. And the amount of new music that I've discovered because of that radio station is fantastic. I actually put a link here where you can find The Current if you want to stream their daily broadcast. It's fantastic. And also on that note, support your public media. Everything going on right now with the government, they're being defunded. So I make a monthly donation to Minnesota Public Radio to help fund the Current. If you listen to those radio stations, throw a couple bucks their way. It means a lot, especially now. Another way I discovered new music, I'm actually part of a Facebook group that I've mentioned before. It's the NTX Vinyl Now Spinning. It's great. I'm trying to avoid social media as much as possible. But when I do go into Facebook, a lot of times I'll go into that group and just see what other people are spinning. A lot of times it either brings up a band that I haven't thought of in a long time that I might want to listen to, or if multiple people are listening to something else that's brand new, then I'll definitely give it a chance. Number 7 is working on my basement area down here. Again, if you watched my gear video, I really want to turn my basement into a dedicated music listening area. Today it's kind of a multi-purpose area. I've got a bar back here, I've got TVs, I've got a projector, so it's where I hang out when I'm watching sports or if I want to watch movies. But I really want to build it out more as a dedicated listening area. So I'm looking to upgrade some of my gear down here, possibly get a new pair of speakers, like to add an external amplifier on top of what I already have here, but just make this a very, very nice listening space. Maybe add some more acoustic treatments as well down here. Number 8, this sounds kind of goofy, but I need to start opening things right away. I've got a bad habit of buying records. I'm sure a bunch of you do as well. Buying records and then I leave them sealed. Bad things happen when you do that. Number 1, if there's an issue with the record and you don't open it and listen to it right away, you're going to lose your chance for a return window. Great example. I bought a copy of the White Album by the Beatles. Hadn't listened to it in probably a year since I had purchased it. Open it up, realized it's a 2 LP set. I had 2 copies of the second record and I didn't have one of the first. So because of that, now I'm stuck with basically a worthless package because I don't have the first record. I've got another copy of it, but not the one that I spent all that money on. The other thing too is buying new records. I do have a new Arrivals box upstairs and I just need to use that more often. Open them up, listen to what's on there. Like I said, there could be an issue with the record. There could be an issue with the pressing. There could be issues with it being off center, having non-fill. But just, again, it gets back to listening to all the records in my collection. If I'm going to buy something, I better listen to it instead of having it just sit there. Number 9, I want to go to an audio show. I'd really like to go to Axpona, which is in April. I had planned on going there this last April, but things got crazy with work and I just couldn't take the long weekend off. Got an old friend of mine who I haven't seen face-to-face in years who lives outside Chicago that I'm planning on reconnecting with and trying to get to that audio show together because we're both big record collectors and fans of music, and just be great to spend some time with an old friend. But never been to an audio show before. I think it would be really fun to get there, see all of the different types of gear, listen to a bunch of different speakers, just get some ideas for things I want to do differently around the house. And last but not least, this is one will make my wife happy more than anything else, is I'd like to go 1 month without buying a new record. So 1 calendar month from the first of the month till the end of the month without buying records. That gets back to number 1 on my list, which is listening to every album in my collection. And if I'm adding more records, that makes that part much more difficult. So let me know in the comments, what do you think? What are your resolutions as we move into 2026 as a record collector? And what do you want to do differently, both from a gear aspect, from a music listening aspect, or from your record collection? Throw something in the comments. I read every single comment, love pretty much every one of them, and respond to almost every one of them too. So go ahead and make yourself known there. Thanks again for watching, and look forward to talking to you again in the future.